Just changing the topic.
Shut up
and sit down.
Good dog!
My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. Have you seen me yet in my BC clap? Get your tools out, you can come and tweak these sets. I got a vicious cycle, I'm riding it right though. The places that I go, the kids go psycho. Grips in my hands, rolled under my feet. One day we'll be taking over the streets. The ramps get brought out, the jumps are right. You get air, pump it up. I'm a fella who can settle for a special, gluing pedals to the metal while the feeder is stiletto. Then a hello, let's go for a ride, you and I don't mind if you're on a shiny ship or if it's ghetto, take either. I've ridden whips, ridden beaters, cruisers, all terrains and two-seaters. Used to do it top speed, nobody could touch me. Now I'm on a chill tip, riding on my Dutchie.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. Here is another Chinese proverb for you. A crisis is an opportunity riding in dangerous wind. If life is crazy upside down for you, make sure you always look for that opportunity. It's there somewhere.
Hello, it's just me and my bellow, rocking a side pony and stilettos. Let's go. We ride these streets, working our glutes, being urban athletes. Like honky, honky, beepy, beepy. Get on a bike and out there.
Someone stole my bike.
You suck!
I'm your trapped bike stealer.
Gold frame, pedals to match. This beast is thinner than a model and the wheels don't detach. So saddle up, got a seat that's made of leather and velvet. Purple flames painted on the side. I see you in helmet.
When I drink Bang Energy, I feel like I can see other people's work.
Because you're reading a book!
Oh.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von Turing. I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Lance Romance, the self-titled love machine right here.
Studio. Self-titled love machine.
To his left, Evan Price.
We are we
You guys
really
are dry.
we are a dry studio today. No, never mind. Jake has his water.
Water. Yes.
And Matt has his water with bubbles though.
I'm
LaCroix.
drinking in life.
What? You know what's funny? On the LaCroix can, have you seen, they on the bottom have zero sweetener, zero sodium equals, this is a math equation that they just put here, innocent.
Innocent. Yeah.
I'm not sure how that equals innocent.
It's math. It's
But if you-
complex mathematics.
If you put sodium into something, did you lose your innocence? Is that what
Yes,
that's saying?
That's exactly what it
Okay.
says.
Didn't they get sued a few years ago about
Probably.
something
I'm sure they
related to like them not being fully truthful about what was put in their drinks?
I would not be surprised if LaCroix
did.
is lying 100%
They
about
were
what's
like,
going in there.
the real ingredients, rat poison.
All the sodium. So much sodium.
With sodium.
Matt just lost his innocence.
Rat poison. No sodium.
Yeah.
No sodium. My innocence.
Is there sodium in rat poison? We don't know.
We don't know.
And last but not least, rounding out the foursome here, Mr. Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys look better than I do.
Ah,
Drove here today.
We'll leave it like that.
The man drove here today.
you walked in though, sort of,
Yeah.
Limped.
and you're here.
And I'm here.
That's awesome.
And I'm alive.
All
Progress,
four
baby.
of us are here together.
Did you lose?
Studio.
Did you lose any driving skills?
Yes.
Do you feel like? Really?
I drove over
Did it
here
feel
at
weird
like
to drive
15
again?
miles an hour. Yeah, it did. It felt really weird to drive
Yeah.
because I haven't driven in 20 days or something. And my foot doesn't,
Yeah.
it's
Doesn't
not
the
used to
Tesla do
moving.
all that for you though?
It's not
Does.
cooperating with
Yeah.
the brain.
Tesla, take me to to my favorite cycling shop. It took me to a different store.
Oh no.
I know. That was really upsetting.
Took me to a bar for some reason.
Into a bar.
It's so good to have you here because it's much easier when you're live to talk over Evan than try to do it when you're
I know.
Yeah.
when you're trying to.
It's tough when Matt's not here to check
call
me.
in.
I just don't shut up, and then Matt can't do it over Skype as well.
Hey Lance, Backpedal, you raced this weekend. Go.
Oh, I did race my bike this weekend. I did the Gorge Gravel Grinder out near the Dalles, Oregon, in the Columbia River Gorge.
Was it gorgeous?
It was perfect weather.
Good
It was
weather,
like 65 and sunny. It was a great event put on by Chad Sperry and Breakaway Promotions. We had a blast. It was a great day out there. Different than most years. There were like 700 people doing it. It was quite large. I
Wow.
think they were
600 dialed people.
they were at limits. Ooh, I will take that.
About 600 dialed people.
Jake has monsters here.
He does.
No, that's okay. I've one at home. I should.
should-
not do this.
Answer, that means yes,
Yes,
he does want one.
but he doesn't want to ask for it on the air.
We got a whole bunch of them. Monsters stopped by. I don't
Really?
know why. I must have like heard this podcast.
Oh,
guy-
the monster truck did.
Yeah,
They
like
stopped
a
by
bunch
and
of
like
them
gave
first.
us a couple dozen.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Oh
So
my
I'm-
gosh.
I'm all set.
Can we get a Monster sponsorship?
So we're
for
sponsored
this?
by Monster?
Apparently so.
Well, Kirkland hasn't stopped by recently, so I think Monster's
it.
now our sponsor.
Dang it. Good job, Monster. Okay. I will say that every sip of Monster that I've ever had has been absolutely flavorful and took my energy to extreme levels.
To 10 out of 10.
And,
Legendary
and
focus.
if you're listening to this right now, buy yourself a Monster. How's that? How's that for a sales
And
pitch?
if you're by yourself,
Well done.
you're probably drinking Monsters.
You're already drinking Monster.
No, people listen to this while they're riding their bikes. They're not drinking Monster.
That's
At
true.
least that's
Yeah.
what I do.
Could
Or
be.
driving their
I was
car
gonna say.
and then
They drank the Monster prior to the ride. Is what happened.
then they're looking for a bathroom.
They're already 4 Monsters in.
It's that taurine. It goes straight through you.
And this is not starting good. We can't.
No,
all
we gotta
4 of
be
us are here,
focused here.
and we can't get like one
Lance,
thought out.
Coherent thought.
Lance was racing bikes.
Stay on target.
You're off target.
Quick, grab
Okay, I did the Gorge Gravel Grinder. I did this same race last year, and there was maybe 250 people in it last year. It was very small, and this year was almost 700 people. So
Is it just the weather?
That's a great sign.
it was partially COVID and what the city could allow. They hit their limit. I mean, they couldn't let
okay.
anybody else in, and I think it had to do with parking in the size of the city Doofer. So I'm going with Doofer as pronunciation.
Nailed it.
I did a 67. There was a big grinder, medium grinder, small grinder. I did the medium one. It was like
Medium grinder.
67 miles and 6,000 feet of climbing. So it
Call it
wasn't.
the meat grinder.
It was the meat grinder.
Medium meat grinder. And you had fun?
I had a blast for the first 2.5 hours.
How was the last part? The
last part was
Did you have any crashes?
No.
Okay.
There you go.
And do you have any like bike technical problems?
No, I had
That's
no.
good.
Yeah,
Good
I
times.
had some cramping in the last hour, which is kind of expected when you're
Too much Monster in your system?
doing. there's like a
Never
10
too
mile
much Monster.
climb in there. There's
enough
there's a
Monster.
10-mile gravel climb in there that the
Is it steep?
it's not steep. There's
long.
there's like 6 miles that is pretty steady, and then it rolls at the top for another 4 miles, and so it's just long. And like last year, I did it in like 55 minutes, and this year, under better conditions and better gravel conditions, it took me an hour and 11 minutes. So I was not faster.
Just blame your
last
tire.
year.
Blame your tire pressure.
That's right.
Wrong
not your
tire
fault.
pressure. Wrong tire pressure.
Not your fault, dude.
The
Should've gone with
descents were
40.
fantastic. I had a riot. I had a blast. I ended up in the top third of the Masters men field. So, there was 100 people. So
Beginning of the season. Good
work.
Clicking
yeah,
them off.
Yeah.
Top 30, baby.
So I was 36.
Oh, you're in the middle third, buddy.
I'm in the middle third. I'm in the top of the middle third.
Yeah.
Super fast middle third.
Just give us a percentage. Just go with a percentage.
We had lots of teammates out there, which was very fun. There were 13 dialed members that raced
Nice.
yesterday, so that was really fun.
Now, there was supposed to be 16, me being one of them. I
Yep.
couldn't race. And they
Yep.
wouldn't let me transfer that's a whole other story. But they wouldn't let me transfer my entry because
Yeah, it was too late past their transfer deadline.
2 days too late and just too much work for them to call the chip timing company and have someone else fill out a waiver. But I digress. Who else wasn't there that was supposed to be there?
I don't know. Oh, Mike Hansen.
Okay. Mike Hansen.
Gotcha.
Was Mike Hamness there?
No, Mike Hamness wasn't either. So there's the 3.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's good.
So-
Those guys would have whooped you so
they
bad.
would have whooped me.
So bad.
That's
So-
good. It's good that they know shit.
They had some good, too.
I'd been 38.
Ed and John both had pretty darn good days.
Yes, very
good
Very
days.
good days.
Yeah.
So, and David Barna had a great day out there.
Oh, Barna was there, too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see that.
So
Yep.
Paul
John
First,
Wansau, yeah.
John Wong Sao actually
Yeah.
made the podium in the small grinder.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Dang, good work.
So good for him. So it was a ton of fun. Big mass start event, festival atmosphere afterwards with food
anyone
and
wearing masks
music.
or are masks over?
No, masks were
People
over.
are like
I don't
lighting
think
them on
around town.
fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've got the bra on fire in one hand and the mask on fire in the other
That's
hand.
right.
But we are still getting toilet paper. Still got to stock up on toilet paper.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're gonna hoard toilet
For different
paper.
reasons.
Totally different game.
Supply chain.
Too much monster.
Too much.
So yeah, I had a blast. It was a good time with lots of teammates. I went out the night before with Ian Gibson, a teammate.
You guys tie one on?
and-
Get hammered?
Yes.
Yeah, we ripped one up.
Had a bender.
We parked our vans next to each other down some random gravel road.
Does Ian have a van?
He
Sounds like
does.
that sounds like a country song.
It does. we had a great time. So it was a good time. Lots of fun. Enough about me.
Nice.
Cool. Evan Price, you also raced this weekend.
Yeah, me and Jake got to hang out yesterday.
We did.
In the sunshine. I
was
got a little
glorious out there.
sunburn. It was great. Yeah. We were at the we'll say the start of the multi-sport season for Y Racing, which is our local race organization.
Our favorite.
I just get
They're our favorite triathlon
I
race
get so
organization.
pumped about local racing these days. As I get older and older, I get less excited about like big national events and more excited about like, yes, local racing is starting.
So much more fun.
It is.
And there's less pressure. And it's just like, honestly, like you just can laugh. You can laugh through the whole thing.
And you also go out there and you realize like, oh yeah, these are people like you consider friends and stuff, but sometimes you don't see them for like a few months if they're in the racing world.
Like
and you
Scott
go there
Goodrich,
and get to see.
You probably hadn't seen Scott Goodrich in a while. You probably saw him there.
It was great seeing Scott, catching up
good
with
race,
everybody. Yeah, he did. He had a good solid race. But yeah, it was. I am in the throes of trying to manage my training schedule to be around 24 to 26 hours a week, and learning how to race during that has been fun. So it was actually not, my legs did not feel as bad as I told Jake they were going to feel prior to the race. Because I literally did my warm-up jog after helping body mark, which was a blast. I loved body marking.
That's so funny that you were body marking people.
I had this going joke that was crushing it with anybody over the age of 45. So it was because I have to ask how old somebody's turning before the end of the year when I go to body mark. And I thought, I was like, man, I'm like a bad early Jerry Seinfeld comedian where I'll just say the same joke over and over again and hope that it gets a laugh or two.
Oh, you should.
And I nail it like 1 out of 9 times.
That's
and it's
good numbers. Those are good odds right there.
But
you got to keep rolling with that. Stick with that joke.
I basically would ask, like, you doing the duathlon? They're like, yeah. So I put the D on the left calf. And then my next question was like, hey, I know this is pretty rude to ask from, a 30-something-year-old man, but how old are you turn next year? And then I'd stop him real quick and be like, 31 or 32 to somebody who is definitely not turning 31 or 32. And that crushed.
You were killing it?
Killing it with like 10% of the ladies over the age of 50. But it was a stupendous day.
You probably got a couple phone numbers then.
I did. Yeah. Cassie was very jealous.
Cassie was also body marking?
No, Cassie was actually at home cooking Greek Easter dinner, which I helped with the day before, and then she commandeered the entire thing and put on an awesome dinner. Everything I did bad, she redid. But so had blast body marking, got to see everybody, jumped to the race. Every single time I do a duathlon, there's always like a couple collegiate runners up front where I'm like, all right, these guys are going to blow their matches in the first 5K for sure. And then realize that riding a bicycle is hard. But
and then their second 5K is ugly.
Oh, usually rough. Yeah. But there was a kid there who, I think he ran for Green River is what he was telling me, college, Green River, like a 30 and change 10K or so. Fast guy who raced smart. He went out with us and then dropped off me after the first mile, probably realizing that, like, hey, duathlon's a long way. I probably should not, like, burn all my matches in the first 5K. So he actually raced pretty smart.
That is, he could have dropped you and he was like, I'm going to let him go.
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy.
He did, because he is I am not a 30 mid 10Ker, and that's what he is. So he's fast. But
you're not that far off, but still.
He was there. Yeah, but pure speed-wise, that kid's going to smoke me. But
especially in the first mile.
Yeah.
He's probably used to going out at 4:40.
Yeah, I think so. We went out pretty fast. There was a guy who's new to Portland who was second, who's going to be a pretty good bike run guy. I only got him by like 4 or 5 minutes in this race. So he's a good solid bike runner. Says he wants to road race. So I'm trying to like get him on the
brag
team.
there.
4 or 5 minutes is a lot.
I just threw that in there.
So I lost a bet though.
By 4 or 5
I lost
minutes.
a bet though because
only beat him by an hour and a half. My race time was an hour and a half.
With people I was talking with before the race, they were saying, how much, if you had to say how much you're going to win the race by, and they were making me say, I was like, okay, I think I'll win by 10 minutes. So I was half wrong. Literally, this guy was 5 minutes closer to me than I thought he was going to be.
You called yourself out to win by 10 minutes?
That's similar to what Josh won last year by. So I was like, yeah, it would be about 10 minutes.
Was it Scott Goodrich who got second last year?
Yeah.
He beat him by 10
you never know
minutes?
who's going to show up.
Yeah, right.
It was around 10 minutes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scott's
fast
last year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Josh got like
Eric Lagerstrom could have come up and done it.
Yeah.
Anybody can just
Eric could have smoked me by 5 minutes in that race. I'm sure he could. I mean, he would have.
Paula could have come up and then smoked you by 10 minutes.
No, that would have made me feel very sad if that would have happened.
Would love
yeah,
to see that.
But no, it was a fun day. We had
that'd be worth watching.
We actually had a decent amount of with the cycling team. So if we had 15 people racing for the 12 people racing for the cycling team. I think we had 6 people out there for the triathlon team yesterday. We had John Hoffman had a great day. Scott Macbeth had a good day. He was out there.
Nice.
Maddie Wick.
Okay, cool.
Braden, Crystal's son.
Braden,
Yep.
Who else was out there? God, I'd have to think off the top of my head. Me, yeah.
That's a good
Ruth
team.
Fisher.
That's a good group.
Ruth,
Yep.
yeah. Ruth was there. Yeah.
Jake, you were out there pumping
Jake was
tires
there.
and tightening
That counts
up
as racing.
headsets.
Yeah, I did a little bit of wrenching actually.
Did you?
yesterday. It was
Did you
kinda
really?
nice, yeah.
I was gonna say, is it like 99% like? Well, we need to release a little air out of your
You know what's
tires.
funny? Let me-
120 psi.
What's proper protocol here? I don't care either way, but just out of curiosity, you show up to a race and you need to put air on your tires. You walk in up and say, "Hey, can you put some air in my tires?" Or you say, "Do you have a pump I can use
borrow your pump
to put some air in my tires?" Which one is it?
You would be surprised how many
It's-
triathletes don't know how to actually put air
That's
in their
really-
trials.
that's-
I
I'm not making this
have
up.
been at a
Can
lot
I
of
make
borrow
this
your
up?
pump. That is what is
Yeah.
expected.
You go to a
May I
cycling
borrow
race,
your pump?
mountain, gravel, road. Can I borrow your pump to put some air in my tires? Sure. Every time I go to a triathlon related event, hey, can you put some air in my tire for me, please? Sure. How much air do you want? And half the time it's like, I don't know. What do you recommend? Or it's like, some like ridiculously high number. I'm like,
It's because it's the third time they've written that.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I don't know. Just
Third-
that was kind
Third
of
is
interesting.
optimistic.
Third is optimistic.
Oh, I just through numbering probably could tell you 5 or 6 people off the top of my head that told me that was the first time they were going to ride the bike that they were bringing with them that day.
Yeah. And there was a couple
And not-
people there.
And not new bike day. This is like, I haven't ridden a bicycle in a good long time.
Yeah.
Like, this is, that's bold preparation.
This is going to hit on our topic.
It is.
It is. Maybe.
Hit on our topic. Triathlon is very welcoming to new athletes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
and
is.
I'm
Very
sure.
welcoming.
I bet you Jake was very nice and polite.
Yes,
to every
he
single
was.
person.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind. I just think it's kind of
You were just
interesting.
like, go to hell. Pumps over
Yeah.
there. Pump your own tire, jackass. Have you ever ridden a bike before?
Well, there was one gentleman who came up and asked me if I could put air in his tire, and I asked him, I'm like, "Oh, the pump's right there. Go ahead." It's because I was helping somebody else out. While I was helping somebody else out, he rolled up and said, "Hey, can you put some air in my tires?" While I was already helping somebody else, I'm like, "Hey, you can do it yourself, buddy."
He didn't know
and
how.
He didn't know what he was doing, and I had
He
to go
did
over there and
not
help him. He didn't know how to work the Presta valve, but
Is there any more emasculating moment than the moment when you realize I do not know how to actually put air into this bicycle that I just brought up to this other person?
hope you don't get a flat tire out there.
Flat tire. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not even like in the same ballpark. It's like changing a tire versus putting air in the tire. It's a whole nother level.
Well, it's like, do you know how to check the oil in your car?
Yeah.
Matt?
Yep.
Do you know how to check the oil in your
I can
Tesla?
check the oil
In a
I can-
Tesla?
In a Tesla. I can check the oil in the Tesla.
I know how to check in my Honda. If you handed me a Tesla, I'd be like, I have no idea what I'm even operating right
There's
now.
a lot of oil in there.
Is it battery
you gotta go
oil?
deep.
I don't know.
You got to go deep.
Yeah,
to
you
find
got to
oil.
really dig for it.
really get in there.
Going back to the race yesterday, I want to throw out a couple things about Evan. It was fun being on the sidelines watching you. You have no idea how many people
How not
were
smooth I
oohing
am.
and eyeing over you, going, "Holy crap! Look at how fast that guy is going!"
Yeah.
And even the announcer.
This is why we need Eric Lagerstrom there, is to just destroy me. So people
Here's
are like,
the
wow,
thing.
he's not that fast.
What's the announcer's name again?
Guy's the nicest guy in
so
the
nice.
world. I
Yeah,
can't
I
believe
don't
I
know
forgot.
his name
But he was just like
He's
the whole
so
time.
great.
He's just like
Yeah.
calling out, like, "I think his pace is about this, and he's there, and his
That's
his
nice.
gapping is this." And
He's
so
a nice guy.
Evan came into the first transition with a 25-second gap on top of this other guy, this Portland
was
newbie
moving.
guy. He was
Yeah.
moving pretty good. And Evan did his normal transition, was in and out of there in a reasonable amount of time.
For
the
me,
other
which is
guy,
still
I
slow.
don't think ever stopped running. He went
guy
through
didn't
transition,
breathe.
and they called out that he finished transition in 10 seconds. How do you do that? No joke.
He rode his
literally
bike in his
flew
running shoes. That's how.
through there.
No, he switched shoes. I don't know. He must have literally removed the shoes in one flawless movement and went into.
He got in and out of there so fast that, like, when they left, there was a 10-second gap between Evan and him.
He got you by 35 seconds
Yeah,
in transition.
It was ridiculous how fast that guy got
the
through
20,
there.
30 second gap down to like
So,
a couple meters.
They get on the bike. They have to run out and they have to get up on the road. Evan clips in, and that guy's 10 seconds behind him, and we're all, I wonder what kind of a day that guy's going to have on the bike and if he can keep up with Evan, because we know how fast Evan can move.
Yeah.
And so how many miles was it? 13.1?
13, yeah.
Yeah,
a little
13
over
miles.
13, yeah.
So it's basically the Jack Frost, Michael Myers time
Same
trial
idea, yeah.
route. And Evan goes out and I'm like, I think Evan's going to do just fine. He comes back and put over 2 minutes into the guy. Evan averaged
typically.
over 29 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Evan.
their measurement was off though. My average I think was closer to 27 moving average was. I think that they had that off the older course, so it was closer to 14 miles for that course. But moving wise, I think I was a little over 27, which was weird because I kept on looking down at my speed. And like the legs did not feel good, but you're moving fast and like it was just one of those days where you're like, actually that's how every duathlon feels. You're like, wow, I feel like crap right now. And you're like, okay, I think we're actually moving a little quicker than we thought we were moving.
Yeah.
But
So he puts in over 2 minutes on the guy on the bike, and then goes out and does the second 5K and put another couple minutes into him, and had a great day, Evan. Good job, buddy.
I was more the thing for me is I'm realizing my top end speed I still need to work. Like and Matt knows, like at the level I want to be racing at, my top end speed needs to be, I need to be going low 5s for those 5Ks. But that second 5K actually felt easier than the first.
Yeah.
Like that was when, and I was running close to the same mileage.
Yeah.
It was
That's
like
just your fitness.
It's just I've been training.
They
for
said
half
as much
training.
that you were running faster in the second 5K than you were in the first.
Yeah.
So
the guy on the lead guy on the bike is this older guy. I feel so bad. I forget his name. Nicest dude in the world. He was like perfect bike pacer on that tough kind of like flowy trail that they have in the back. So the backside of the Spring Classic
Are you
duathlon
talking
is
about on the run part? The second run?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first and second run both go through this like real flowy trail, which is actually a lot of fun to run on mid race, but definitely it's not like made for speed. You're just kind of like flowing the whole time. It's just like right, left, right, left.
Vancouver Lake.
Yep. It's the backside.
Okay, I don't know.
As you're going towards the rumble strips, there's a trail back there.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Really nice run trail, actually, to be honest. But super shaded, and he was cranking on his e-bike going through there. Like, I mean, he was floating because there was a bit of me that was a bit worried. I'm like, this is going to get a little hectic. Yeah, because it's kind of like single track stuff. It's like tough. Like, I was like, I wouldn't be able to ride my mountain bike on this super fast for sure.
No.
But he did an awesome job.
Hey, Matt, Backpedal.
We're done. Yeah. I have nothing. I sat on the couch.
Cranked out some videos.
Drank a beer. Had some sort of like beer yesterday. I can't remember what it was. A Laurel Woods Sunshine Daisy.
Wait, your Backpedal is that you drank a beer?
Yeah.
No, your videos have been awesome.
Made a video about it.
Your videos have been really nice.
I made the Hammerhead Crew video.
Yeah.
Yep, that was good.
And the shirt.
The time shirt.
That shirt video.
Yeah.
Everyone hated that video.
I thought that was a great
Everyone hated that
video.
No, the video's fine. It's just like people watching the video were like, oh, it should have been more scientific. And I'm like, okay, fine. And the people the people that, were from like the time where people were like, well, we thought we're a little sad that you didn't tell more people to like just buy the thing. Like it was not exactly that, but like they were like, it's fair review, but like
they weren't pleased with your video.
They weren't pleased.
They wanted to sell more.
They were thinking that I was just gonna be like, shut up and take our money. Yeah. I mean, but I was like, this is expensive and a lot of people don't need it. That's, kind of like what I said. And I was like,
it's
and
really
if you
about,
do need it, I mean, like,
I think you
right?
made actually a great point though, that when we're talking about ease of accessibility to numbers that would be useful for a coach to look at for you, I think it's a great product. And I think that you said that in there too, but they need to make the product more user friendly in the way that it needs to be more immediate results.
Yep.
It doesn't. They need to for sure set up a system where they're not like, oh, we'll analyze this and get you this back in a week.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be immediate, and it needs to be something that as a coach I can look at and be like, what were the percentage of time in these zones? Don't make me actually look at the data and
report all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And they know that, and they're working on it, and it's just like
once they clean that up, I would tell my athletes to get that. I really would, because I mean, guys who like, my goal is to go to Kona. I'd say like, yes, you need to get a product like this, because I'm not going to tell you to prick your fingers and take lactate testing like I do for myself.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're at that level, then this shirt makes sense. But then it's like $30 a month isn't a huge deal. But if you're trying to decide between this and buying a bike, which is like someone sent me a message, I'm like,
buy the bike.
Buy a bike.
Yeah.
It's just, I got that message and I'm like, I don't want to tell you to buy some product.
What they should be doing is selling that to programs that work with pro or high level athletes, and then you distribute them out to the athletes. That's when it's useful, because I mean, to be honest, I love lactate testing because those numbers to me are what I can look at physiology wise, but most people are not going to be like, I want to prick my fingers at home.
So they're not going to send you the updated model for the next review.
Who knows? I mean, they might. I think this is one of those companies that could get purchased.
I don't think it did anything bad for them. I think that it spotlighted. It was a good information.
The other thing is no one watched that video. It's like one of my worst performing videos, because no one's searching for a shirt that tells you your ventilation thresholds. It's like the whole point of them doing a video like this is to basically get the word out, and it's just it's hard.
I mean, again, I don't think you said anything bad about it. I don't think that it was any disservice to them. And I think that they could probably use that video in some of their marketing attempts. They could send that out and say, hey, check this out.
They need to start marketing themselves as a option away from metabolic testing. So they need to say like at-home metabolic testing is how they need to start marketing themselves. Are they completely truthful in saying that? No, but who's ever completely truthful in marketing? Like,
I don't think that that's far off.
No, I think it's close. Yeah, no, I think it's a fair assessment of somebody's metabolic zones in a very affordable, time-efficient, at-home way.
Yeah, and the thing is like for you, it's time efficient and affordable. Someone else might see that and be like, no way in hell. And that's what the problem with making these videos is. You're trying to hit this like broad audience of people that are like, I'm brand new to triathlon. Do I need this?
There's 2%.
The answer's probably like
2% of the audience needs
it.
Yeah.
And it's like you kind of have to tell people exactly that. And so the end of my video was like, should you buy this thing? And I'm like, well, and that's what I think killed them, is they were expecting me to just be like, yes, or whatever. And I was like, maybe. And I
like,
make those
I am
videos.
Jim. I have never done aerobic sports before and want to do a triathlon this summer. Should I analyze my ventilatory zone? Like, actually, just enjoy riding your bike first.
The same guy that was asking Jake about pumping tires, he's on there trying to decide if he needs this shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, probably not.
No, man, you're fine. Yeah, you don't need to. Like, would you even know what you're looking at? It's like, no. It's like, okay, then don't get it. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they paid you thousands of dollars to say, buy this shirt.
Buy this shirt.
Matt just signed a $1 million deal with them. Yeah.
Sell out.
Awesome.
Jake, how about you?
I rode a bike yesterday for the first time in 12 days.
Whoa.
That was...
You made it over 2 hours, though. That
12
was a nice
days
ride.
off.
When I got on the bike, I've said this to a few people, I didn't know if I was going to last for 5 minutes or 2 hours. I had no idea. I literally could have gotten to like the end of the road that the first road that I'm riding on, I could have like died. Like my lung was going to fall out of my body. And I actually, in the beginning, it was a little tight, a little coffee, whatever, but it worked itself out. And I just kept riding. I'm like, all right, just go up to here, then go up to here, then go up to here. I'm like, hey, things feel pretty good. So
there you go.
I did a normal little gravel ride and then some, and ended up being 2 hours and 15 minutes. And the last half hour was a little bit of coughing on the bike. It was tight chest, and when I got off the bike for like the next 2 hours, it was like coughing attacks. They gave me an inhaler, so I was having to hit that. But I felt good. I was happy to be out there. Good. It was a beautiful day. How nice was yesterday? And then when you wake up to this crappy rain again.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm walking here today. I'm like,
I'm thankful every time it's like crappy and rainy out. I'm like, can't bike, but look at that. Look at that 2 feet of snow out there.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are enjoying it. But
Gavin's back on the trainer. Yeah. Lance has to ride inside.
So, but it was nice to get back on the bike, and I'm hoping that I can start getting back into the routine as the body settles down. They have me on these steroid things for my inflammation in there.
Yeah.
I've got the inhaler, and I've got sleeping medicine, cough medicine kind of stuff that I have to take. And I'm taking all these allergy things as well to boot because I'm having an issue there. But I'm hoping that this week I can start getting back to normal. So, cool.
Hey, grand scheme of things, 12 days isn't too long. You've been through much longer down periods, much tougher down periods, and made it back. So,
I've told a few other people this as well. Like, last week was the first time in over a decade that I missed work, like a full day of work because of being sick. I've gone home a little bit early. I've come in a little bit late, but I've always gone to work. And this was the first time. And I missed 4 or 5 days last week. I was wrecked. I just stayed home. And it is what it is.
Stupid job.
People's bikes can wait.
Champ Bailey, top 5.
Hey, Champ Bailey, are you here, dude?
Champ is here.
in the house.
In the house.
There was a bicycle race yesterday.
There was
a
big bicycle race yesterday. The last of the 5 monuments for the Spring Classic season, Liège-Bastogne-Liège. It is roughly a 260-kilometer race through the...
Did you know it's called Sprint of the Dying Swans? Did you see that Wout van Aert article?
No,
Apparently there are people who call Liège-Bastogne-Liège the Sprint of the Dying Swans.
Well, it's 160 miles, and it's still like 12,000 feet of climbing. There's rolling hills. It's
just such a long day.
It's just a long day. It was quite an exciting race with about 50K to go. There was an extremely
very bad crash
accident where it kind of blocked the whole road. Tom Pidcock went down, maybe broke a finger. Julian Alaphilippe went off the road and hit a tree.
Reading Bardet's report of that, you would have thought Julian Alaphilippe died the way that he was describing it. I mean, really was describing it as like he was not moving.
So Alaphilippe broke a couple ribs. He broke his scapula. And
that's a bad one.
He punctured his lung and got a pneumothorax.
Jesus.
And so he couldn't talk. So that's why
Bardet was so scared.
Romain Bardet. And Romain Bardet, not on his team, he had crashed, but he like ran down the ditch to Alaphilippe because he was worried because he wasn't like talking or moving, and he looked really bad. It was kind of cool that Bardet like went to his aid, even though they're on opposite teams.
Yeah, does that make you more of a fan?
Yes, it does.
They're both French, and I think actually know each other pretty well too. And Bardet is known in the peloton as actually a pretty nice guy. Yeah. Very very soft spoken guy, but very nice.
Bardet's French too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're both French. They actually.
I wonder how old Bardet
I could be getting this wrong,
now.
but I think they actually race each other's juniors growing up, so they've known each other for a long time. Yeah.
Anyway, so because Alaphilippe, he was Quick-Step's rider for the day. That's who they were protecting. He was hoping to do really well. He's won that race a few times. But because he crashed and was out, that meant Evan's favorite rider, Evan Poole.
When I saw the result from this, I know now why yesterday Kit kept on texting me incessantly, like, have you seen the race yet? Have you seen the race yet? Have you seen the race yet? Like, no, Kit.
So,
that kid's a douchebag.
I know, seriously. I cannot stand Remco. I cannot stand this guy.
Okay, before Matt talks about did you see the point during the race where the motor car pulls up like kind of next to him and they've got a camera on him and he's pointing to his head, I'm so smart, I'm such a crafty, like I'm the best. And,
yes.
Oh my God.
That was in the like Eurosports highlight thing.
Yeah.
That's how much of a D-bag this guy is that like his little moments like that, you're like, dude, just ride your bike. You're really
so
fast. Just
proud
ride
of
your
himself.
bike.
I'm sure that there was like a collective eye roll in the peloton.
I'm sure. I'm sure they love him in the peloton.
So regardless, with 30K to go on near the top of one of the last climbs, Evan Poole just blasted past everybody.
No.
Oh,
he went thermonuclear.
Nuclear.
Yeah.
So sick of that term.
Thermonuclear attack. It's like, wow.
He did really.
That's a lot of watts to go thermonuclear.
Did you watch it, Evan?
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Oh, I mean, don't as much as I hate this guy, he is very good at riding bicycles. Like this man can ride a bicycle.
Well, we wouldn't be talking about him if he wasn't
exactly. Yeah,
really
It's like Cavendish. Whenever I'm like, oh, Cavendish is like awful for the sport, it's like, no, he's a great bicycle rider that won a lot of races. But yeah.
So you almost kind of get the sense that Tom Pidcock has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he's still nice enough.
Pidcock is like going through some stuff right now, though. But I like Pidcock so much better than Remco because to me, from what I've seen in interviews and the doc pieces on Pidcock, he's very human. He's very easy to relate to.
He's got a lot of self-confidence, but all of that goes away as soon as you bring Evan Poole into the conversation. You're like, oh, Pidcock's the same. Evan Poole, this guy is the D-bag of the whole entire peloton.
That's true. Yeah, he's not very well liked.
I'll make another Remco joke here. Is apparently whatever was in his back pocket when he fell off the bridge, and he took it right before that thermonuclear attack. Right. I'm sure. Amphetamines are great these days.
Where was the finishing bottle? I want to know.
Got to get him on quick step with Cavendish.
The finishing bottle was taken. What was that? 50K from the finish.
Right, 50K from the finish. He took his finishing bottle. Yeah, well, I was listening to a podcast yesterday with Justin Williams and Pace McKelvin. Mm-hmm. And I think it's not just amphetamines that can be in some of those finishing bottles. There's also sometimes narcotics in them, like painkillers, like strong painkillers.
Oh my gosh!
There was one of the ex-pro guys was talking about the like serious painkillers,
like tramadol or
Tyler. What's his last name? Tyler.
Yeah,
Hamilton.
That's the
Hamilton?
same. No.
EP,
Tyler. He was with EF.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler Farrar. No,
Tyler.
No,
he's the guy that his dad was also a
he's
pro
kind of
cyclist.
Very eccentric guy. What's his name?
Yeah, from
Finney.
Taylor
Finney. That's it.
Yeah, Finney.
Thank you.
But so there's in the book Endure, which was written by the guy who was on the 2-hour project for Eliud Kipchoge, he talks about old European research that they did on cyclists with narcotics, and there was crazy improvements in their like 20-minute power.
Wow.
Because think about what drives us to not push a little bit harder is generally the sensation of discomfort.
Oh, yeah.
You want to numb that sensation and give somebody an amphetamine? Oh, yeah. You can go ahead and push 600 watts until your legs fall off at that point.
Also, not think clearly. And
fall off a bridge.
And fall off a bridge.
Exactly. Yeah. So what we're getting at is whatever Quick Step has in their finishing bottle seems to be great.
Well, no way. Quick Step had a terrible spring campaign.
They did have
They didn't have
Remco
any
saved
results.
their spring campaign because they only won the first. Did they only win?
No, they only won.
I thought Jakobsen won the first technical E3 or whatever that race is.
I don't know. It's not one of the monuments.
Quick Step did not have an awesome spring, basically, but no,
they did not. So
they need to
crazy.
tweak the ratio they have between.
So Remco got away. He crushed it. It was pretty awesome. There was a group of like 10 or 12 guys that had Wout van Aert in it. And so they really didn't want to pull it back. It also helped for Remco.
That sucks for Wout.
But Wout still was able to come away with third place again, which is amazing. Guess who was second? Quentin Hermans. Do you know who that is?
No,
he is a cyclocross rider.
Oh, really?
Cyclocross is taking over.
Cyclocross rider, and he went out there for the
second and third were cyclocross riders.
Yes, that's
I'll still
right.
say Wout and MVP are cyclocross riders. Yeah,
I think so too.
Brandon McNulty was in that group too, wasn't he?
I think he
was.
was.
He finished in the top 10.
He had a great spring.
Yeah.
He had such a good spring. The young Americans had a great spring. That's like one of the
Magnus,
little understories of the spring classics this year was like we had a lot of potential talent coming up through the field right now. Yeah.
What else happened in the world of cycling? There was a stage race in California, the Redlands Cycling Classic. I don't have any of the results for that. I just know that it happened. I don't recall any big name actually winning that because there's...
The Gorge Gravel Grinder was a big race, wasn't it?
The Gorge Gravel Grinder. So the women's race,
the
women's race was won by Sarah Sturm, who is in the Lifetime Grand Prix Fitness.
Nice.
Her big thing. This is not one of those races, obviously, but
she's using it as a training race for that.
She was. I actually had a conversation with her because I met her when I was in
You're partially
Scottsdale.
famous.
Yeah. So and she's
Scottsdale.
When I was in Arizona at the Cactus Cup, I stopped and talked to her for a bit. And then when I saw her before the race, I'm like, Sarah, I can't believe you came out here.
Mustache guy.
She did. She's like, I recognize you. You're the guy I met in Arizona.
Your
She's like,
mustache, though, is
You're
not
the
as-
guy with the stupid mustache. I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yes, I am. Absolutely, I am.
That is me.
It's not the same as it was when you had that
Your
thing,
mustache
when
precedes
you
you.
had like the mustache wax and it was coming.
And
Like,
all-
okay,
yeah.
for our listeners, the mustache is in handlebar position. It's
Yeah,
not in.
it's tame.
It's not in. It's
quite
What do we
tame.
call that? When it's
Excited.
1920s boxer position.
1920s boxer position. That's when people
It's
are
not
like,
in hipster position.
"You."
We could say-
I remember you.
Yes, that is
That is a memorable mustache.
The Viagra position of his
The
mustache. is
Viagra
what-
position. Absolutely.
I did see Becca Faringer. She was there.
Yeah, nice.
She has been struggling with concussion symptoms
Yeah.
all the way back from her race at the beginning of the cyclocross season
Mm-hmm.
last year. So she had got a very bad concussion. She's still having concussion symptoms. She won this race last year, and then she really shouldn't have even come, but she lined up, and Chad Sperry had given her the number 1 plate, so she wanted to like honor that. So she showed up. She did not do the big grinder. She ended up cutting it short and did the medium grinder. She still took second in the medium grinder,
Good.
even though she was
She needs to be
cruising.
Those concussions.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Evan. Those
It's
things
scary
are
stuff.
no joke.
It is not to joke around with.
Not
Yeah,
good stuff.
it is scary stuff.
The men's race was won by a Bend athlete. It was won last year by Peter Stetina, but Stetina is not racing right now because he
Broken.
He had that
broke
crash.
his wrist at Sea Otter. And so the men's race, Eric, oh my gosh, Eris Sophocles. And then second place was Stephen Mull. So these are pretty solid guys, but people we don't know, so, but still very.
They ride bikes fast.
Gravel racing is big.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't
Champ
have any other
Bailey
races.
out.
Champ Bailey out.
Hey, let's do a little Patreon drawing here.
You did say in the last podcast that we were going to
We're
do
gonna
this.
do it next week.
Wonder if we were going to
All right, so we got our little jar of peoples here. Let's see who we just pulled out.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Oh, one of our favorites, Mr. Chris Hitchcock.
Chris Hitchcock, you jack monkey.
Wins again.
Get up here and pick out something
It's
special from
been a
the,
minute since we've seen
What
Chris.
can he? What
Those
can he
have a
pick
winner's
from?
bag now.
Is it
There's
like
a whole
bike?
bucket of stuff, and not for nothing. I was
Okay, so it's like some caps.
there's cap.
Socks.
There's a multitude of different things over there, and I was here at the lab for over 12 hours on Saturday because
Jesus.
wife was out of town, and my kids were busy, and nothing else was going on, and I couldn't ride bikes, so I came down here and just did all kinds of stuff. And there was a lot of things that were just kind of floating around. I'm like, oh, that would be a good thing to throw in the Patreon bucket. So there's a lot of like cool little new things in there for folks to pick out. And we got a crap ton of pickle juice too. So
pickle juice.
Yeah. But anyway. All right. So Chris Hitchcock, you are our winner this week for the Patreon drawing. We do appreciate everybody who is a Patreon because that helps make the world go around with our little podcast. If you want to see this thing continue to go on and help us offset the costs of running this thing, you can become a Patreon yourself. You can go to dialpodcast.com and click on the link there to pick a Patreon that works best for you.
Or if they want to see us go off, they could come and pay enough money so that we quit recording.
That too.
Yes.
That money's really going to flow in.
It's going to roll
Absolutely. I would take a sponsorship to leave right now. I would sell out.
All right, our topic for this week is we're always bitching and moaning and complaining about stuff and things that need to be fixed and what's wrong with everything. Let's flip the tide on that one. Let's talk about the things that are right with cycling and triathlon.
I feel gypped that I didn't get to complain.
You can still throw a complaint.
I'm really good at complaining.
Yeah.
You can always throw a complaint out.
So each one of us have got a couple things or a thing or whatnot. I'm going to start with Lance like I do.
You're starting. No, start with these
start
guys.
with me. Start with me.
Because I think they have to leave.
I'm starting with Lance, but Lance is throwing it across the table to Matt, so we're going to go with start with Matt.
Bring it on.
20 minutes of positivity.
No,
Here we go.
There's a lot right with triathlon. I could go on for days, probably.
Minutes.
Hours. But we're going to start with companies like Y Racing.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They are crushing it. They are always happy to see you. They are always nice to every participant.
Yes.
You have a problem, you need your money back. You want to just take money out of their wallet, they'll probably just give you money. I mean,
You want your tires pumped for you? We'll have a guy.
We don't know about that. Well, we got a guy. We got a guy for that.
We'll outsource that.
Companies like that in triathlon just get it. They are like, hey, we are in the people person business. This is a welcoming environment, and we're going to fight hard to have that situation at our races. I think that's the way they see things. At least that's the way I've noticed long term. I mean, they're under a second owner now, and it's, if anything, only getting better.
Yep. And their previous owner was there. I actually got to
Fantastic.
talk with Sherry yesterday. She's doing great. Yeah. It's awesome to see that change in ownership was fully supported and awesome and part of the community, and it was great.
They clearly have not lost their vibe of do anything for new athletes. Make it fun. It's going to be a good situation for the foreseeable future. And so kind of piggybacking that and, right with our discussion earlier in the podcast, it's very welcoming to new athletes, very welcoming to newbies. If you are brand new, I just think you ask any other triathlete out there, they'll be like, yeah, this is how you rack your bike. I think, and I could be wrong, I think most people are just nice at these triathlon races.
Yeah. Triathlon has a lot of nice people in it. It definitely does.
Yeah.
They just do such a great job with everything, though. It's not just being nice to new athletes. I mean, they've got the venues that they pick are good.
Yep.
A lot of triathlons are in beautiful locations.
The setup is good, too. I mean, they've got nice equipment. They've got, music, and they've got a PA person on that's calling out all the different people and celebrating.
Out there.
Yeah.
And you're celebrating the last finisher.
Yeah.
Whether that's an Ironman race or a Y race or whatever it is, I think that is something that the sport does well.
Yep.
Now, the last thing that I have for positivity, are we going around, or how are we doing this? Or do you want me to roll?
No, you do you, man. Go.
You're
on a roll.
3 sports is a really nice, balanced approach to your general health and wellness. Let's say you are finished with an Achilles surgery and you probably can't go for a run. Well, you got 2 other sports to choose from.
That's a good point.
So I'm going to probably try and get in the water this week, which I'm really excited about.
Nice. Yeah, look at you.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And
It's also good just for injury recovery too, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'll probably do a pull buoy and just do 1,000.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I'll slowly work my way up. And then, bike wise, I think I can do stationary bike, not a lot of watts. Just keep it under 100 watts or something like that and just spin it.
One-legged drills.
But I can't run probably for a while.
Maybe 6 months or so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just a good sport in that, hey, if your bike is in parts or whatever, go for a run. If your pool is closed, go for a bike ride. There's just so many nice little things about having all of these kind of backup sports is a kind of a weird way to think of it, but that's another thing that's a positive about our sport. Road cycling. Well, I shouldn't say road cycling. I should just say cycling. Maybe not quite as friendly to noobs and last place finishers. But with cycling, I feel like you get to see so much more of the world, right? Like I always thought running was good. I would go to a new city, I would go for a run, and I would like know the roads and things like that. Cycling is like that times 10.
Okay.
It's just so nice to just like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I know where that is. It's over there. I mean, it's like, yeah, I bike past this spot and I just know it really well because this is where we bike and whatever it is. Or
Absolutely.
new towns, and you get to see stuff that just no one gets to see.
Yes.
Like, no one.
Yeah.
Also, and this is my guilty pleasure. I mean, this is probably something I shouldn't even admit to, but like cycling, there's so much like gear and tech and stuff like that. I love that stuff. Like, I mean, obviously I make videos about it. It can be a little bit of a negative, but I have so much fun with it, whether it's like bike computers or bike power meters, all the tech. Like there's just so much cool stuff in the sport. I really do enjoy it.
It lets you geek out, and
It does.
it's fun when you don't need any of this stuff. You just you need a basic bike. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
But if you want to,
it's a double-edged sword, right? Where it's like, yes, it's so much fun to geek out on this stuff. I love learning about it. I love like reading about like there's these new hubs that basically could eliminate front derailleurs, and I'm like, oh, I want to read about this.
Yeah.
Or the hubs that inflate your tires, like I want to see that stuff. And I mean, I don't need that,
Right.
But it's just like so cool to learn about, and you don't have that in as many other sports. Like I don't see that in running. I mean, they did carbon shoes, but
you're right.
they don't really have the
very
same
light
level
on
of
tech,
tech.
though.
Yeah.
when that stuff comes out, it gets you geeked out on it. It makes you want to go ride your bike even more.
Yeah.
So when you get a new computer, if you get a new power meter, if you get a Garmin Varia radar, if
just
you
wanna
get
go use
tubeless
it.
tires,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
you get a new lightweight frame, or you get a gravel bike, all these things make you excited about going out and riding. If you just had the same bike that you had purchased 15 years ago and it was broken down and just squeaking and popping all over the place, I mean, you're not going to be as excited about riding. You know? But we have to have things that we can be excited about, and we this is a hobby. And that's one of the fun things about working here and doing this is when people come in, they're generally excited and happy to see you because that's the thing that they work for. That they're putting their pension where their passion is, and they're going to ride their bike because that's something that they love, and they want to get into the sport, and they want to do it for a long time. They want to go race, they want to go do adventure rides and all these different things, and you get to get excited with them. And when you start to show them some of these other little cool accessory things, they get even more excited.
Yeah.
And I love that. And for me and for customers. So
that was the polar opposite of my working career. Nobody was happy to see a dentist.
Yeah, that's true.
Freaking dentists.
Nobody comes
Seriously.
in.
Got to
all
wear on you a
jacked.
little bit.
Yeah, look, I'm going to the dentist.
Yeah, going to the dentist.
Then Lance empties their wallet.
You know
in his
what
bank
though?
account.
when someone has a toothache all weekend, and they come and see you on Monday morning bright and early, they're probably so happy to
they're
see
pretty
you.
happy.
They're probably like, I love you. I will do
Whatever-
do
whatever it
whatever
takes.
to me you
Take
want.
my money.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Good stuff, Matt.
That's good.
There's a couple things.
Very
that's
good.
Throwing out there.
How about you, Evan?
I think there's a lot. So I'll kind of go off of Matt here and segue into what I think is really important from endurance sports. We'll include like running, cycling, and triathlon underneath one umbrella, and swimming in here. It's no mystery that in this country, we can only speak about America because I only know about America. We are in an absolute epidemic of unhealthiness right now, like an absolute 10 out of 10 fire alarm. We are an incredibly unhealthy nation right now. The pandemic did us no favors.
Nope.
And I think what is really good about triathlon specifically, and I just noticed this at that duathlon, was I think the pandemic showed us that you can work out at home. Yeah, no, that's great. Nobody did. Like
They did for a few minutes, and then their Pelotons turned into like a closet coat hanger.
Peloton
thing.
exploded during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, they're
and
doing
now
great
it has-
right now,
it has
aren't they?
tanked.
So like everybody tried it for a little bit and then realized like, wow, I don't want to work out by myself unless you're one of these psychos at this table right here. What are we? The 0.1% of idiots in the country that are like, no, yeah, I'm fine with locking myself in a garage and I can just like spin on a trainer by myself all day.
Yeah.
99.9% of the country will not do that, and that's probably good.
Probably
But
normal.
What was awesome to watch at that duathlon was people coming there, and this is not me calling anybody out of shape there, but people who clearly are new to the sport, probably are in a point in their life where they're like, I'm a little unhealthy right now, and I need to do something to change that. And doing that in a social environment, because we are human beings and like social environments, is the best way to go about that. And the cool part about a group like Y is you've got a lot of people that have experience in these sports, and they were, just like Matt said, 100% welcoming.
Yeah.
Because that can be a wildly scary thing to do. That'd be like the equivalent of somebody who is, like really, really bad at something, going into something that you have never done before, and you're like, I'm going to feel so judged in this environment, no matter what that is. Whether it'd be like me going to Matt's coding computer seminar,
Yeah.
and then being
One of my seminars.
and then and me being like, literally, I don't know how to like turn on whatever said computer you have right now. Like that is the equivalent for me. And to go in that environment and would have somebody there like Matt who would be like, no, man, that's fine. Like, let's just go and do this together. Like, you're going to be okay. That's what Y is to these people. And it's so, so cool to watch in person and live, because you can see, you know, there's as we talk about the at-home workout craze, the problem with that is you can't in real world situations see your improvement for every single person. Right. And there's some people I'm thinking of off the top of my head where it's like, it was so awesome to see them have a good day, where they like went out there and were said like, I did better than I did 2 years ago in this similar, or before the pandemic, before this. Like, I had a rough pandemic, came out here and I worked hard over the summer because I point at this event and I wanted to do better at that. And it was just them wanting to do better for themselves. And that was it.
I think you'll see more of that like when you get almost towards the end of the season, where it's like Columbia River, because because now this is very, very early on, and it's like we're going to have decent weather hopefully, and it's just going to be like people are going to start to work towards something.
Yeah. And I think that's where the competition that breeds in sports like triathlon, running, swimming, cycling, cycling road racing is a little different, because it's, cycling road races is almost like I stayed with the peloton. You're not looking at like where the heck you finish in the field. It's like I stayed with the peloton for that whole race, which is awesome. But for the very, very beginners of like, I'm just getting on my bicycle now, the great thing about triathlon is you can compare yourself to just you that day, just you. And that's, I think, the coolest part of the sport is it breeds that competition with yourself. And that at the end of the day is what drives us towards health.
I think running is like that. I always thought running's
definitely
like that too,
like that.
Yeah. Like you can.
That's the core of running. Yeah.
You're comparing your times to you.
Yeah. Yep. Like very few people go out there like, where do you want to, what do you want to do today? Very rarely does somebody actually think, You're like, nobody's ever like, I want to win the race. It's like 5 guys that say that before the race. The other 1,200 people are like, I want to beat whatever I did last year. So
sub 3 hours, whatever their time. They have some sort of time in their mind.
Some marker.
Yep.
Which I think is great. That's where I think that it's numbers can be good sometimes. I think in that sense, if it's something that's pushing you towards being faster, we know that generally, on the general, getting faster and getting stronger at a sport means you're getting healthier. And that's, at the end of the day, I think that's what's cool about these events and these sports.
Like it.
Yep.
Cool.
There we go. That's me and Matt's
Now the pressure is on.
Now the cyclists tell us.
Now the pressure is on.
Some boring positive. We're like, I like wide gear ranges and watts.
I like all the watts. Every single one of those watts I like.
Every watt matters.
Thinking about this question, the first thing that came to my mind is really what's good about cycling. And I'm thinking about myself right now. Strava.
Strava is good.
I love having Strava. I love having
those
it.
KOMs.
Yeah. I love.
How many KOMs do you think you have?
Thousands.
Do you really?
No.
How many do you think you really have? You have over 100.
Yeah.
120.
No, you've got a couple hundred.
I probably have a couple hundred.
Couple hundred?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I have like 15 pages.
How many did you create,
KOMs. I don't know. Out of those, I've maybe created 25 of those.
Impressive.
Yeah. I've created some segments.
Don't go stealing any of my segments now.
Some of them are on roads I could never find. That's.
I'm not like some incredibly fast guy either.
No, you're just smart with it.
That's
you know your strengths, and you know which ones are there for the taking.
You have fun with it.
Saturday night, when I went and we rode some gravel roads before the race, and there were a couple descents that the road was just nice and it was smooth and buff, and I just ripped them. I had no idea what the segments were. I ended up getting a couple KOMs. On these downhill gravel.
Gotta be careful, man. The downhill KOMs freak me out, and I know you love descending hard. And I do not want you to get hurt.
Well, I don't want to get hurt either. Well, it's just it. I wasn't expecting that, and then I'm like, I get done. I'm like, oh, I guess we were going faster than I thought. But also, because only like
how many miles an hour? Did you look? 50 to 60?
No, not on gravel.
Oh, God,
it was gravel.
It was gravel.
Hey,
I figured maybe it was like a.
It was like 33
the road was
miles an hour or something like that. I averaged a section, and it wasn't straight. There were turns, but not like sharp turns. So there was nobody out there. There was no traffic in the.
I forgot to ask this off topic real quick here. How did Sir Ian do in the race?
He did great.
Yeah?
He did really well.
Did he hang with you or did you hang with him?
Oh,
or-
no. He beat me by 20 minutes. He beat me by like
Wow.
20 minutes. Yeah. He had a faster time than the year before.
Good job, Ian.
But he beat me by like 20 minutes. He did great. It was kind of funny. We had some trouble with his like rear hub the night before. We had to take apart his rear hub and his cassette and grease it and redo some things and put it all back together.
Were the paws slipping or something? Or
it was catching.
Oh, gotcha.
The rear hub was catching. It wasn't spinning nicely.
Oh, yeah. So it needed to be it just needed to be serviced. So the grease in there was getting a little too thick, and the hub was.
We're gonna take it apart, clean it, and re-grease it and put it back together.
Gotcha.
He was like dropping his chain if he went backpedaled.
Yeah.
Oh, because it was catching on the.
And we figured that out. We only figured that out like 20 miles into our ride on the night before. And
That's
he's
good that you got it.
Then we spent a couple hours messing with it because
cool.
As we were doing.
We didn't talk about Josh's race either.
Oh yeah.
Josh Monda, crushed
Ironman
it.
Texas.
Ironman Texas.
That should have been my backpedal. I don't know why. I was checking the track. I think for 9 hours,
9
and
hours
40
and 48 minutes.
Yeah.
It's good.
You want to give the 1 minute synopsis of his race real quick?
Yeah, 1 minute synopsis. The Texas swim is always tough because it's a non-wetsuit swim. So he hopped in and actually swam pretty close to where we thought he was going to be, like between an hour and 4 minutes with non-wetsuit, right in there. Had a really, really quick transition, actually. And then hopped on the bike and did super well through the bike. He paced himself well. Texas is super humid this time of year.
I don't understand how people can go from here to anywhere hot because you're like, this is the worst time to do something like that. We have zero heat acclimation, and it's just like automatically going to be humid somewhere. It's like
you're just going to sweat more automatically.
You're not going to have a good race.
No.
I mean, people do have good races. It's just I'm not one of those.
Oh wait, let me guess. He had cramping issues.
He did. Yeah.
Oh, imagine that. He went to a humid
faster amateur bike splits, right?
Yeah. I think he had like a top 7 or 8 bike split. Had like a really, really good bike split, and really did not over bike either. He biked smart, and it was he goes out the first 10 miles. He's like dead on pace for what he needs to do. He's moving through the field. He's going to be within the top 5, and then just he hit mile. I think he said like mile between 13 and 19. He started to slow down. Then the cramps just like hit hard.
This is hard to keep.
And this is it's Ironman racing is and Josh knows better than anybody and talks about this a lot. You'll hit that one day where it happens and that's great, but it's not like 73 in Olympic racing where if you put in the right training, it's gonna usually go right. Like 73 racing, you can have a pretty good idea that I'm within a minute or two of this time. On a good day, I'll be here. In Ironman, you could be 30 minutes slower than what your fitness says you are because something happened during that race.
So
easily.
brutal.
Yeah. Brutal racing. But he's, on to the next one for him. He's once again under 10 hours, even in a day where he's having to like walk run. So he's showing that he's
and made the podium in his age group.
Oh yeah. Made the podium in his age group. Josh knows his goals are always like right now when he goes into an amateur race, his goal is top 3 overall. That's where his fitness is and where he's capable of finishing in these races. So
cool.
He's he's got a lot of hope for this season. He's gonna have a great season. But the men's pro race also ended crazy. There was literally a sprint finish at the end of an Ironman.
That's rad.
Ben Hoffman outsprinted Magnus Ditlev, which is
wow.
Literally the last like 50 meters of the race they sprinted each other. It's like how do you sprint after that?
An Ironman.
Can't even imagine.
Did you finish your thankful of what you like about cycling?
Strava.
I have another thing, but we can move on.
No, just what is it real quick? Go.
No, my other thing is the other great thing about cycling right now is it's very easy to watch races.
That is fantastic.
So
yes, I
all
agree.
these European races, you can find them way easier than it used to.
Can I complain about flow?
So there's Flow Sports, there's GCN Plus,
Peacock.
there's Peacock, there's Red Bull TV. Those are the 4 places I usually find my
Peacock
races
and GCN
on.
Plus are
Do you
pretty
have
easy.
subscriptions to all of them?
Red Bull TV is free.
Okay.
And they have mountain bike races on there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I watch my mountain bike races.
I'm so mad at Flow Bikes because I picked up a subscription because I wanted to watch the thing, and then they they advertised that they had it. You go on there. The other website said, yeah, this is the place to watch it in the U.S. You go on there. No.
Geographically blocked out.
I was like, what? And I was furious.
So
it's she's like a VPN or something like that to say that she lives somewhere.
But it's because NBC was was showing it. So if you
Milan
have
San Remo or something.
Yeah, Milan San Remo and Liège-Bastogne-Liège and La Flèche-Wallonne.
So I needed Peacock.
They were all on NBC. So either Peacock or
Peacock's a swinging deal, though. I mean,
Peacock's
you get all this,
great.
and you get all the things that NBC puts out.
Track and field
it's
racing on Peacock too.
$5 or
It's great.
$6 a month. And I remember when we were buying the package for watching Tour through NBC Gold to watch the Tour de France, it was like $50 or $60 just to watch that. But for $5 or $6 a month, you get all things NBC, all things Peacock, which includes all the bike racing and the Tour de France.
So I sent Flow Bikes a message like, hey, I'm really disappointed. Like, this is also a request for a refund. Haven't heard anything. That's like 2 weeks ago. No response.
I'm sorry, we lost your refund request email.
This is not the complaint show, Matt. This is what's
Oh,
right with
happy
cycling.
times. Yeah, dang it.
Sorry. I thought for sure this is the complaints department.
So what's right with Flow
That went
Bikes?
to my email. It went right to my my spam folder. Is what happened.
What's right with Flow Bikes is they seem to be a great business model where they don't provide anything of
provide
value,
nothing.
but they take money well.
Did a great
So
job.
That's
taking my money.
Good business model. Yeah.
Yeah, their payment app works great.
Yes.
So the other great thing is if you don't have any of those apps, if you wait like 2 or 3 hours post race, you're gonna find something on YouTube that shows a highlight package.
Yep.
Which is great.
So
there
that's
used to be
another great-
there used to be a
Lantern
website.
Rouge.
There used to be a website called Steep Hill TV.
Steep Hill.
Yes,
But I think they're shutting it down. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Steep Hill used to be where I watched
it would be
everything.
it was so
Steep
good.
Hill was great.
It was so good. It was like, here's everything.
I'm sure it was entirely pirated, but God, whoever started that website
it was
was
stuff
great.
that got thrown on YouTube, and it was good.
Okay, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What else is right with cycling?
What's right with cycling? Prices are fantastic. The supply chain is beautiful, and road racing is incredible. Oh wait, that's the wrong list.
it's the wrong
And road racing is plentiful.
I love seeing all of the innovation that's happening right now. There seems like there's so many cool things coming out, and just little dumb things. We've talked about this before, like the Hammerhead, being able to ride, and it tells you like there's a climb coming up, and this is how long it is. This is the gradient, and this is where you're at. It's all color coded, and it's just because I'm riding my bike and I press start on a computer. Like it knows everything about this route. That is fantastic. That is some killer innovation.
That's
right
cool.
there. I love seeing that stuff.
They're doing good stuff. And they just released a heat map feature.
Yep.
Like right after I posted my review, they throw out a nice new feature. And it's a heat map of like where people cycle in your area. And you can just have the map going and you can just go out for a bike ride and you'd be like,
So
that
you're-
street right over here. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
really?
heat map stuff.
As you're riding,
As
you
you're
can
riding.
see like a street is like a different color or
red. It's red, and it's just like what you would think. Like big bright red means lots of cyclists.
Lots of
A little
people-
bit more less red means less cyclists or whatever. And so you can like be like, oh, one street over is better.
Yeah.
and just hop over there.
So
I'll let you guys borrow the computer. You guys just
I've
take
got a
it for little
dozen of
while.
them coming in. This should be here anytime now. Kind of stoked about that. And we've got a demo unit too. But if
Good
you,
demo.
if
I have one that's up for
maybe
I'm
both
not
of them.
biking.
Yeah.
I'm not biking anytime soon. So
Yeah, maybe
point.
Lance can use one. I can use the other.
I need you to
So.
test. I need you to test the computer.
I can do that
for me. Anyway, so, yeah,
So what I like though is they're doing all that stuff, and they're
crushing it.
they're disrupting everything, and that's in a good way because Garmin and Wahoo and everybody else is like, crap, we got some stuff to do.
catch up.
Got to work. So I like that, and this is going to be unpopular with a lot of people. I love how many e-bikes I'm seeing out on the roads.
100% agree.
I see them all of this. I saw a bunch of them yesterday, and it's fantastic. And people like the peers, on e-bikes, that's just a motorcycle. No. People are getting outside. They're getting exercise. They're using them to commute. They're getting off the road. Or that's just more people. They're connected with more motorists out there who can say, hey, I'm riding my bike. I've got an e-bike. And now maybe their uncle Leroy, who likes rolling coal on people, is like, oh, Jeffrey, you're riding bikes. Well, I got to start being nice to cyclists. Maybe that happens. I don't know. So,
or maybe Leroy just starts rolling coal on Jimbo, who just got his e-bike, which is probably what
that's
happens. But,
but
yes, I
at least
completely agree.
Jimbo can go kick him in the groin.
I've
so.
completely changed my tune on e-bikes. I think they're great.
Yeah. I'm all
Now,
in on e-bikes. People that
I
don't
still-
like them,
I still think they're
people that
gr-
just are jealous.
That's right.
They want them.
I
They can't
think
afford them.
think they're great unless you are
They're
going
expensive.
out and KOM hunting on an e-bike, and
Yeah.
then you are the scum of the earth if you are
It's a simple flag there, but
That's a simple
on
flag.
purpose.
But-
if you're doing it on accident, no, please keep on going.
not for nothing. All of us at this table have been on a regular, we'll say, road bike, out riding, and you come in contact with an e-bike person, and it's like 100% game on. Let's go,
Yes.
buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
throw down.
That's great.
I love, actually, I mean, I rode up on rode up with some guy and we were climbing some hills and I was like, this is so nice. And I didn't want to say like, we would never be able to ride together if it wasn't for But like that's the truth.
That's the truth.
Like we
Well, I
wouldn't
had
be
a-
able to like go climb hills together.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was a big guy, and he had like stuff with him on his bike. And I'm like, this is so awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
let's ride together for a couple miles.
Yeah.
And he's like, no problem.
And they're still getting a workout too. They're elevating their heart
absolutely.
rate. They're engaging
Exactly.
muscle groups, and they're doing
That's the
stuff
main
that they
thing.
wouldn't
Yeah.
be doing. And they're not sitting on a couch watching TV,
And they're not
drinking
doing it
beer.
indoors on a Peloton.
Yeah.
As long as they're outside. I think that Peloton should just sell. And then what they should do is everybody who had a Peloton should get an e-bike then.
Yeah.
So then you're
I
like,
would-
hey, you
I
get
would
to
love
enjoy
that.
whatever the heck you just did in your basement by yourself, now outside. There you
Outside.
go. Just put out 100 watts for an hour and you can go 20 miles an hour.
I think anyone that doesn't like e-bikes should just always like get a shirt or something that just says like cars are the enemy, not other cyclists.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Something like that. Like
Yeah,
the cars are the
exactly.
problem.
You know what?
Yeah.
A lot of these people that do hate e-bikes don't hate them once you let them get a leg over one and go for a bicycle ride.
Oh, yeah, they're great. They're a blast.
They'll start giggling. No joke.
fun.
They'll start giggling as soon as they get
They're
on the
super
bike.
fun.
Lance and I did the same thing. Like we
Yes.
weren't like anti-e-bike by any means at all, but I had no real desire. And then we had some come in. We got legs over, and we just started laughing. I'm like, this is too much fun. This is a good time.
It's a
So
blast.
Yep.
So there's that. And then the last one that I have is I really love what's going on with the new generation of cyclists out there right now. There's just so many people that are so uber talented that are transcending all of the different sports. And it just feels like there's like a whole like changing of the guard.
Like
I mean,
a Wout van Aert type.
yes,
You know,
and
that.
Vanderpool.
Remco is who he's
Remco Evenepoel, yeah.
No. He's You're talking about actually like a guy like Roglic, because that's somebody who
Roglic-
came from an elite other sport and now
That
is
too.
like tearing the sport
Yeah.
up.
I think that
Mike
this-
Woods come from running. Yeah.
Yeah. This summer is going to be fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah,
Some-
there's just a lot of big names
I
out
got to
there.
figure
Yeah.
out where to watch streaming stuff, but
I'll give you my
Yeah.
password.
so mad.
The cycling world should be a little scared, because if the triathlon world is not able to make a marketable, profitable, model here in the next couple of years, you're going to start getting some of these Norwegians who are triathletes coming into pro cycling, and it's going to be scary because these
geez.
guys have massive engines coming from some of these countries.
Well, these guys are
Can you imagine
making,
like a Christian at the age of 18 was like, I think I'm going to do pro cycling? Christian Blumenfeld.
I wonder.
Guy's a VO2 in the 90s.
He's weird.
He's insane. Yeah.
Weird.
Suspicious.
Suspicious.
He fit
Read
right in with
into that.
cycling.
He fit in with a lot of the cyclists.
He'd be great on UAE.
UAE's team.
Awesome. Cool. I think that's about it for that topic. Let's jump into one last thing real quick because I know the boys got to get out of here. Who wants to go first? Matt
I can
Legrand?
always go.
Go,
I posted the video about the shirt last week. This week's video is supposed to be the Air Relax Recovery boots. And then I think next week is like a new bike computer. I have some watch reviews to do as well that are just behind schedule because I'm somehow, finding more work to do than I should. And I should.
Stupid job.
Yeah, the job's getting in the way of making videos. I posted a video about a beer. I wasn't joking at the start of the show. You'll have to watch that. It's just like a little 15-second clip.
I'm excited.
And that's it.
Nice. And Bryce,
I'm going mountain biking this weekend.
Are
Everybody
you?
pray for me. Yeah.
where are you going?
Pray for me.
Everybody pray for me.
Go round lake. And go.
We're actually going to do Silver Star and Jackson's Pass, I think.
Who are you going
Silver
with?
Star and Jackson's Pass. David Goodman. We are getting ready for our Telluride
Yeah.
Suffer.
There's a lot of snow up there
Fest,
right
now. Yeah, I know. Actually, last time I did Jackson's Pass, we did it during the fall before the wind, and there was snow up there already.
Just Terry Hammonds was
actually
up there
made it-
yesterday.
Terry was up there yesterday.
It actually
There was
made it.
snow.
I liked the snow more than the gravel, to be completely honest. I really did because it was like, one, got to cool off at the top of the climb, and also it was like less shifty to me on the mountain bike.
interesting.
On a gravel bike, I would have hated it, but on a mountain bike, I was like, this is great.
Just the two of you going up there.
Yeah, I think Dustin might come with us a little bit. We'll see.
Be careful.
Hey, has he been on the bike? I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
Granted,
Dustin-
I've been.
Dustin got back on to a little training program, I think, this last week or two. So
for him.
yeah,
Okay.
he's trying to get back into it.
A week from now, he'll be exploding with
he'll be-
fitness. Yeah.
Massive 30 watts.
TP
Yeah,
up
30-second watts. through the
400
roof.
watts
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Epler, one last thing.
I don't have a whole lot coming up. I'm headed to Seattle for my future daughter-in-law's capstone project to watch her present that. So I'm headed up there this weekend. There are a couple gravel races this weekend out of the Oregon coast.
Yep.
Put on by Mike Ripley's events. Those are great events. I've done them in the past, but I will not be able to make them this time. But other than that, it's all good.
Cool. My one last thing is our YouTube videos will be coming back. We haven't put out a video in 6 months. 6 months.
Get on it.
And we still have all these people that keep subscribing. I don't know why we don't put anything out. I think we're like
It's mustache
21 or
love.
2,200 subscribers, and we haven't put out that many videos, and it just kind of makes me scratch my head, like, why?
The
you guys
exodus
subscribe?
from Matt's channel. They're like, we're tired of Matt's videos. We want a channel that doesn't put out videos now.
I'm definitely tired of my stuff.
Been working hard to get the things down here at the lab organized and create the time so that I can dedicate days to doing it, and now I've done it. I'm there.
Nice.
So I was going to try and do it last week, but being sick kind of threw a wrench in things. Made up for it by coming in and working 20 hours this past weekend while everybody was out of town in my family. And we're going to get back to putting out some videos and going to have a nice little pacing pattern to that. So fingers crossed that works out well. Cool. All right. That's it, boys. That's a wrap.
Nice.
Podcast 217 in the books. I think it's 217, right?
Something like that.
217. Cool. We do appreciate everybody listening. We will be back next week with another one. Until then, bye for now.